Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited to share with you just a few simple recipes on how to make basically anything pickled. I thought I would hone in on 4 of my absolute favorites, and because it is autumn I thought I would choose some seasonal veg in particular like cauliflower and beetroot. So let's get straight into the video. We're gonna start with some jalapeños. They are my absolute favorite and they are so easy. So just grab some and start chopping. I would make them a little bit thick, or basically however thin you want, but I wouldn't go too thin because you don't want them to disintegrate. Once you've chopped them all, then you're just going to be placing them in a jar and really pushing them down. You might have a bit too many, I definitely had a few too many here, but just put them in, squish them down, and let's make the brine. Oh, actually a quick note, if you do want to keep all the seeds, it will keep it quite spicy, so you can discard them if you don't want them. So for the brine, just grab a pot that you can put on the stove, and then you're going to be adding the ingredients. So you're going to be adding white distilled vinegar, some delicious water, and our friend salt. And you're just going to be heating that up so that the salt will dissolve. You don't need to boil it, you just need to heat it so that it's nice and dissolved, and then once you're done, you're basically ready to pour the liquid in. I like to let it cool just a couple of minutes, but then I just pour the hot liquid over the jalapeños and fill it not quite all the way to the top, maybe leave half an inch at the top just in case. And I definitely had a few too many here, so I took a few out, but place the lid very gently on and you're going to be putting it to the side just to cool down to room temperature until it's ready to put in the fridge. So I put this loosely on and I'm going to go and put it by the side just to chill out for a bit. The next one are red onions, and I love red onions because they are beautiful and sweet. I'm going to be making 2 jars of this, that's why I've got quite a few onions, but you'll probably only need 2. But as always, everything will be in the description below. So I'm just going to be peeling all of these onions, and you can save their skins for later to make a vegetable stock. So think about that before you compost them. So I'm just going to be slicing them super thin like this, but you can slice them the other way or just have complete rounds. I went for a bit of a mix. And then basically once you've done all of that, just shove them in your jar. You just squish them down, try not to leave too much space because you really want to make sure that they're not floating when the water gets in there, so that everything is really beautifully covered. So once that's done, it's time to make the brine. And this time we're going to be using apple cider vinegar instead of white. So I'm just filling up and measuring out the apple cider vinegar here. Don't worry, everything is in the description. I'm going to be adding that to a pan as well. Then just adding in some water, some salt, and this time I'm adding in some sugar to give that sweetness. And again, waiting for the salt and the sugar to dissolve and just heat up a little bit. And then once it's done, you're going to be doing the exact same thing. Just pour the liquid over. It's going to be hot, but you want it to be hot. This is what everyone else seems to be saying, so here you go. And then as just before, place a lid nice and lightly on top and put them to the side to chill out. Next, we're going to be using beetroot, and this is actually a Riverford recipe, so a massive shout out to them and full credit. I'll be leaving the link for that below. And it's because my parents get Riverford boxes and they got one of the this autumn beautiful book which had this recipe in it, and beetroots are really in season right now in the UK, so I wanted to do a really beautiful spiced pickle beetroot. So as you can see, I scrubbed them really clean. You don't need to chop off the tops or the bottoms, and then you're going to be placing them in a really snug pot. And this is where the spices come in. So you're adding red wine vinegar, and then you're adding these beautiful star anise, allspice, bay leaf, peppercorns, cloves and cinnamon. So you're just adding in the bay leaf and the star anise, and then all of those other beautiful fragrant spices. Some sugar, well, a lot more sugar than that, and then you're going to be adding water, Make sure the water fills all the way up so that the beetroots are completely covered. And now you're going to let it boil and then simmer it for about an hour. You need to get those beetroots nice and cooked. So after an hour, you're going to be peeling these beetroot, and they're so much more easy to peel once you have actually cooked them. So you're going to be putting the beetroots onto a plate, and you're going to be keeping this liquid. So you're going to be straining it so that all the spiced bits are out. I also forgot to say there is some orange in it, which I forgot to film, but I will put it below. You just put it in at the same time as everything else. So you're going to be putting this liquid, oh, I spilt it, back into the pot, and you're going to be simmering that and really reducing it so it becomes beautiful and syrupy. Now you're just going to be peeling your delicious beetroots, and they should really come off like a little jacket, and then as thin as you want. If you have a mandolin, then that'll probably be easier, but I don't. But these are super easy when they're this cooked to slice and make them so lovely and thin. You can always put chunks if you prefer chunks, and then put them into your jar. Remember to really squish them down so that they fit. Now that your liquid is probably reduced, it's time to put it on. It really smells so delicious, like a Christmas mulled wine. And believe me, this is one of my absolute favorites. So if you only try one, I would highly suggest this one. Just as before, place that lid on nice and loosely and put over to the side to cool down. Okay, we're going for some cauliflower. Now cauliflower is in season at the moment, which is great. These lovely little ones are perfect for pickling. So I'm just breaking it up into bite-sized florets. Just chopping them up, making sure they're nice and small. And then you're going to be putting them into a bowl because we need to salt them. So put on a really generous amount of salt. I use kosher salt, and I'm going to be coating absolutely every single piece and leaving it overnight to really draw out that water from the cauliflower. So once you've salted it, just place it to the side and leave it overnight. Now onto the spices. So the next morning you want to rinse that cauliflower really thoroughly. Then we're going to be making the brine, which is going to be a really lovely kind of bread and butter style mix. So I'm using distilled white vinegar again for this. So I'm going to be placing that into a pot. And then I'm going to be adding all of those lovely spices. And of course some sugar. Well, quite a lot of sugar. Again, just stir it, make sure everything has really nicely reduced and made sure that everything has disintegrated. And then just as before, place your florets that have been washed really thoroughly into your pot. And then pour over that beautiful golden liquid. There should be just enough with 1/4 of an inch at the top left. So place the lid on nice and loosely and place to the side with the others. So I just want to take this time to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 30,000 classes in design, business and more. Skillshare have been a massive support of my channel, and I really appreciate everything that I've learned from their platform. I've been particularly loving Brandon Wofol's class on Instagram photography recently because it's really helped me to understand how to get better lighting and how to take better portraits and edit to make your photos truly magical. So if you're interested, Skillshare is giving away a free 2-month unlimited access trial to my subscribers who click the link in the description box. And after that, it's only around $10 a month. I hope you really enjoyed this video and hoped you enjoyed just learning how to make these pickles. I really love them, as I've said before, and they can last up to about a week, I think. Well, the beetroot is probably about a week, and everything else can probably be a little bit longer. Definitely those jalapeños can last for a couple of weeks, and definitely the onions as well. But if you have any other questions, please let me know. Now these are refrigerator pickles, so if they don't quite get covered by the liquid, it's okay because they're in the fridge, but do try and make sure the liquid is completely covering all of that delicious food. So make sure you pop it in the fridge once it's cooled down to room temperature and enjoy in a couple of days. Maybe give it at least 3 days and give that cauliflower at least 5. So I hope you really loved this video, and I will see you guys very, very soon.